few days ago, I actually scrapped this entire speech. I realized that I was actually telling parts of my children's and foster children's stories that weren't mine to tell. I know that someday, when or if they decide to tell their stories, the world will be better for it. It just wasn't my place. So I started thinking about what are the things that have brought me hope as a foster parent, things that have brought hope and support to my children, and how can we collectively keep working together to bring light into dark places. Desmond Tutu said that hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. When we think about foster care, we probably do think about a lot of darkness because truly it is there. There's grief, trauma, confusion, a broken system, loss of first families, either temporarily or forever, and children who just feel helpless amidst it all. We've lived it. So I wanted to talk about how hope actually is there. If you look, there's light. There's hope. It's in every nook and cranny, and it resides in those fractured hearts, those little spaces. And it is definitely part of who we are, the fabric of who we become in our dire need. But we never lack hope. On the day of our youngest daughter's adoption, she was 8 years old. Sophia wore a blush pink dress and danced around with her black as raven ringlets going down her back because she was so excited to be adopted. And we felt so honored by that. I thought about what that day meant, just as I had done a year and a half before when we adopted our son, Dre. How this was a continuation of the love we already had, as well as a commitment to help this healing progress continue. And I sent a silent prayer for her first mama, too. After the judge had made her official proclamation of adoption, we had a celebratory day. And Sophia kept singing one of our favorite songs called "A Million Little Miracles." I got her to sing a clip for us, and they're going to play it, so I hope you enjoy.
I've got miracles on miracles, a million little miracles. I've got miracles on miracles, count your miracles, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't even count them all.
She's here, so. When asked where hope is in foster care, I think about the miracles on miracles, a million little miracles. First, of course, my children are my miracles. We have 7 altogether. That's our boys. Those are just our boys. We also have 2 girls. And that's a few years ago. They're grown right now. They're grown up quite a bit. Yes, there we go. So we have 5 boys, one of whom is adopted, and 2 girls. Sophia is officially adopted, and her older sister, who was with us when she was 9, came back about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and she just turned 16 2 days ago. So the sisters are together, and they're in our home, which is beautiful, and also, as we all know, can feel really hard on the heart, because wherever there is adoption, there is also loss, and we recognize that. I must also consider the 5 children who came and went from our home without permanency, for they are permanent in my heart. There's a couple, that was our first placement. We'll get to that later. My kids are miraculous to me every day. They are light in darkness, and they are the hope that we all pray to see. Practically and logistically speaking, hope showed up with our first Nexus licensing worker. Her name's Michaela Kruger, and if you worked in Nexus for a while, you may know her. She came to her monthly check-in visits, often with arms loaded up with things donated to the agency, like new pajamas for our children. One time, she went and got people to put money together for this pair of really neat shoes, these really cool shoes for my son for his adoption and Christmas gift. She often brought our kids' favorite treats, and always, always warm encouragement for us as foster parents. When she moved to North Carolina a year ago to be closer to her dad, we decided we can't live without Michaela, so we made sure to get her personal contact info, and my girls love to talk to her and keep in touch with her, and we hope that we can visit her at some point. She became just like family to us because she always went the extra mile. She taught us how to advocate for children in our care, while she went and advocated for us, and she never neglected to honor biological parents and consider their perspective. She is an angel, and we would not have our family as it is if it were not for her care and diligence, as well as the care and diligence of those who followed after her and helped take care of our family. In fact, due to her compassionate leadership, we were guided into a healthy and mutually loving relationship with our oldest daughter's biological dad and his family. We safely co-parent, honoring our daughter's past, present, and future. We could not have done this without someone teaching us how to navigate such nuanced circumstances that were unfamiliar to us. And this began with our very first placement over 7 years ago, when our foster children's mama would show up to visit with pain in her eyes, and I had learned to see her and love her right where she was. Now, our family is bigger, and I have said to my kids that our table does not disinclude their first families. Even if sometimes only symbolically, we like to say we include them in our family and at our table, because if we love our children, we also love where they came from. Now we have to help them navigate that past pain. It can get complicated, a little bit messy, but we help them navigate that and go into the future with hope. I'm not sure if our loving social worker hadn't guided us through this, that I would believe that such bridges could be built between foster and adoptive families and first families, but whenever it's safe, we should try to make that possible. And this level of excellence, this tender care, is something we have seen and experienced again and again with Nexus, and from talking with other foster parents outside of here, I know it's rare and special. Hope also shows up when we log into our training and we can seek out specific areas of need. We can figure out how to help our kids with things like grief, anger, substance abuse, and suicidal ideation and behaviors. We have experienced all of this and more in our home as our children have navigated what they've been through. And instead of just feeling helpless, we get to feel empowered as we gain knowledge, as we seek out what we need in those trainings. On one ER visit, I actually had another foster parent come with who had also done a lot of trauma training. And together, we advocated for my child, helping people in the medical community try to understand trauma, how this may react in a hospital setting. And my child got to see how knowledge and action and community come together for support. Knowledge itself is not power, but applied knowledge certainly is powerful. Speaking of support, hope shows up when we go to share and support meetings, where veteran foster parents aren't shy about the nitty-gritty details of all the things that they've gone through, and you could just hear so many stories. And they also share what they've learned from those experiences, and we support one another. We carry each other as we are in the trenches together in a way that only you can when you're in the trenches together. And they have helped me navigate my grief when our first placement had to leave quite suddenly, and a gaping hole took place where my heart once was. They showed me that I can love those kids for the rest of my life, even if I will never see them again. But there's more on that later. They also help us rejoice at every little victory, and again, just in this way that you can only understand how this is a victory if you've been through it and been walking together. So these share and support meetings are really valuable. Hope once appeared in the form of a basketball hoop. During the COVID lockdowns, I don't know if any of you know children like this, but we needed to find a way to get negative energy out in a positive way. So our worker did some thinking and contacted some people, and we had a brand new hoop delivered to our door. It's interesting what a difference something like that can make. Just another activity, just something else to do, another way to use our energy. And to this day, whenever I hear a basketball hit that backboard, whether it's from my 10-year-old's granny shot or my 16-year-old's awesome hook shot, I smile. And I thank God for the people who help make things like this possible, those who help me love my family. Hope is with my children's therapists, those miracle workers, who day after day just love on my kids patiently, waiting for them for when they are open to share and talk and go through it. They're playing the long game with them, and they give me a talking to when I need it as well. We are so blessed. Hope is how our older sons have accepted youth in our home, have learned more about different perspectives and experiences, have stretched their compassion, and how lifelong sibling bonds have been made. In fact, my son Julian and our first foster son are still friends to this day, and I have quite a few of my children at my table tonight. Could I be any more thankful? And then there's this list that I keep on my phone. It is one way that I keep track of hope so that when hard days arrive, and they do, I can look back and see how far we have come. For example, noting when my kids' nightmares are diminishing and we're all getting more sleep, or when coping mechanisms go from substances to sports or exercise. There are also dozens of notes about hilarious moments between my kids where belly laughs abound and joy is felt, and I'm sorry, but not all of their jokes are politically correct either. I have notes in my phone about how I love it when my son Dre and I may belt out songs in the car. Him probably, ironically, me, never. Or when recently my foster daughter asked me if I would please sew her pants before school the next day. And at one moment in the ER, she asked me, "Will you please stroke my hair and braid my hair?" These are motherly moments that I hold as such an honor in my heart, and I hope I never take for granted. And then all the times, every day, many times a day, where my husband is my calm, strong hero, always my rock in the storm. And then there's this. Tonight in this room, do you remember that first foster placement that left abruptly and a gaping hole took place where my heart once was? My first foster son is here. He's in this room tonight at our table, and if there was no other reason for this evening to happen than for me to see him again for the first time face to face in 7 years, I'm so grateful. Eric, I love you. And I love all you guys. This hope is the joy of my life. It is my meaning. And none of this is possible without a village. Not one day, hardly an hour, is this possible without a village. Each person here, as well as family members and friends and prayer warriors not in this room, you're part of that hope. The donors, social workers, court staff, everyone from administration to those who enter data and log reports, you are all the structure of hope. You provide the tune in our voices for bedtime lullabies, and you provide strength for those 2 a.m. heart-to-hearts with vulnerable teens who are scared and don't know what to do. And I thank you because you help give security to my children at the most insecure time of their lives. So where is hope in foster care? It is in you. It's in me. It's in biological parents. It's in communities and schools. It's in friendship. It's in faith. And of course, it's in these kids. They deserve the world. And when you give them that, they're going to turn around and make this world a better place. Light in darkness. Thank you.